Morning, guys. Hi, I'm Lori Winslow, and I'm with Rain or Shine Chalk Design. This morning we have another interesting project, something I haven't done before, so it should be fun for you. So I got a canvas at the Dollar Tree, so $1 canvas. Didn't know that was even possible, but it is out there. So in order to do this project, I did go ahead and prep the canvas. Otherwise, it would be too wet to chalk on. So the cool thing is I did use chalk paste to paint my canvas. So I'm going to turn you down and talk to you a little bit about what I did to get my canvas ready. It's very similar to using watercolor, except with chalk, you can't achieve quite the same look of watercolor, but I wanted to try it and see what it looks like. I was able to get a little bit of kind of those water marks that you get with watercolor, which is kind of the look I was going for, but it's an experiment for sure. So what I did was I used a large brush, I used my chalk paste, and I used the little color trays that we have. They're nice for mixing colors and putting water on the chalk paste, which is what I did. So I took my trays and I put a little bit of paste in them, and this is the Iris. So I used Iris and Regal, it's a really dark color purple, and the Blue Jay. And I also used a little bit of acrylic paint. I did not have a dark blue in the chalk paste, so I decided to use a little bit of acrylic, and I'm glad I did. And I'll explain why. I think using the acrylic really made my other paint stick to the canvas well. I think without it, I don't know what the colors would have looked like. I don't know if they would have really stayed as vibrant. So basically I just took a little bit of chalk paste, put it in my tray, and then just added some water. So basically I'm just making watercolors, right? Just making a real light wash of watercolor with my chalk. And I did this, and that's about how much I used. It didn't take very much. I did that for all three of those colors. And also, like I said, I used the acrylic. So what I did was I put the acrylic in a color tray as well, and I just worked the acrylic around the edges because I knew I wanted it to be dark. So I worked it around the edges. And then with the acrylic still on my brush, I would dab into the color I wanted and put it where I wanted it. And I think the combination of the acrylic being on my brush, like I said, I think that kept the color, I don't know if you'd call it stable or what exactly. Like I said, it's an experiment. But I like the way my canvas turned out. I'm excited to see what this will look like when we get our transfer on there. So the reason I chose this, that color palette, was because I am going to use this transfer. He counts the stars and calls them all by name. Psalm 147:4. So we have that transfer that's going to go on, and then we have an overlay transfer with some stars. So I think it'll go like that over the top. I'm going to go take care of a light problem. It's looking a little like it's glaring against you guys to see the different things. So I'm going to lift my light up a little bit. Okay. Now to transfer onto a canvas, oh, I also added some dots of our white chalk paste for the little deeper stars in the background. But to chalk on a canvas, I need some kind of a hard surface underneath. So I have a book, and that'll give me a nice firm surface, because you want to chalk against something firm so that when you're putting this on, you have a nice firm surface to push your squeegee against. All right. Well, if you're here this morning, make sure you say hi. Sometimes I see your name come up on the screen, and sometimes I miss it. If you're coming in this morning, if we get some friends in here, I was thinking we would play a game. So the game I'm thinking is, let's see how many constellations you can name. Since we are using a transfer about stars, I was thinking it'd be fun to see who could name the most constellations. Good morning, Thomas. I bet Thomas knows some constellations. So we're going to play a game this morning. The winner of that game will receive some Happy Mail from me. You'll receive some kind of a transfer and some chalk paste. So if you want to play, name some constellations that you know. Alright, so I put my transfer on my fuzzing cloth. It's got some nice fuzz on the back. Because I put acrylic on my canvas, I was thinking I probably needed some fuzz. And I was pretty impressed with the Dollar Tree's $1. Good morning, Shelley. Nice to see you. We're playing a game this morning. When you come in, if you want to play the game, name as many constellations as you can. I will pick a winner, and that person will get a mini transfer and some ink from me. Okay. I'm excited to see this all together. I did some watercolor using the chalk. I did some watercolor on the back, or on the canvas, to prep it for a sky, the look of a sky. So I'm excited to see what this turns out to look like. I haven't done this before on a canvas, so this is a new one. Alright, so I do have a book underneath my underneath my canvas and my transfer, so that it gives me a nice firm surface to chalk against. And a canvas is kind of like fabric, so I'm going to treat it like fabric, and that just means I'm going to make sure that I am chalking in different directions so that I know that chalk is going into that weave of the canvas. And I think I'm just going to do the whole thing white. I want it to really pop off of that night sky background. Morning, Krista. Glad you're here this morning. We are playing a game this morning. If you want to win some Happy Mail from me, name some constellations. Tell me how many constellations you know the names of, and I will send one person some Happy Mail. So I'm chalking on a canvas this morning. This is new for me. I've seen it done. I've seen people do this, but I have not tried it. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. And a canvas is a lot like fabric because it is basically fabric. Okay. If you're coming in, say hi. Tell me how many constellations you know the names of. And I am not against you looking some up. If you want to win Happy Mail, do what you got to do. I'm not sure what Thomas's laughing face is about. I'll have to look back. All right, so I want to make sure these letters are nice and crisp. These letters don't have any built-in positive space, so that should be a nice, clear print. Some of those we want rustic looking, but this is not one of those. Aha! Ooh, I love the contrast against that night sky. So if you're just coming in, ooh, all right, somebody's going after it. Great job. Krista's got him down. Thomas says that's all he's got. He's got a small list. I love it though. So if you're just coming in, this canvas was from the Dollar Tree, and I used our chalk to create the background. Our chalk, and I did use a little bit of acrylic paint because I didn't have a dark blue that I wanted. So I just used some Admiral Blue Apple Barrel acrylic paint. I put the blue all around the background, left the acrylic on my brush, and went right in, created some watercolor using the chalk and just my water, and made kind of a watercolor. And then my brush that had acrylic, I went right in. I never washed my brush. I just kept using that acrylic to help hold the paint to the canvas. Canvas and watercolor are kind of hard to work together. And I think chalk paste is very much like watercolor if you water it down that much. But I do like the effect that I ended up with. I'm going to dry this because I want to do my overlay of these big stars. You guys just keep naming constellations. I'm going to pick one person to get some Happy Mail. I'll send you a small transfer and some ink and a squeegee. Make sure this is dry, so when I do my overlay, I have a dry canvas. That's a great question. What am I doing with all of these? Well, that is a great question, and I'm kind of trying to decide that right now too. I don't know if people would be interested in purchasing the completed projects that I have. I am in that situation too. I'm kind of out of room. I've put things up that I really like my finished products, but yeah, I am eventually going to have to do something with these. So if there are any old projects that you'd be interested in, I would not be looking to make a ton of money, just basically get my supplies back. So like this my supplies were really $1 for the canvas. So if you like something on my page that I've made, make me an offer. I would really entertain offers, and I would send it to you. All right, I'm going to take off my overlay transfer. So I'm excited to have the stars transfer. I find that I want stars on different projects, and that's one of the things I love about the different transfers is you can use them, you know, on multiple projects. Obviously, I don't have to just use this for this project. I can mix and match my transfers. Okay, so now on this one it's going to be kind of we're just going to kind of figure out where we want this to go. I can see through the transfer a little bit. I can see my white popping up, so it'll help me line it up a little bit. But they're stars, right? So I'm not so worried about the stars in the sky aligning. All right. Ooh, somebody's going after more. Somebody wants Happy Mail. Awesome. Go for it. So if you just joined us, we're playing a game. And the person who names the most constellations will win some Happy Mail. So you'll get a free mini transfer and some ink and a squeegee so that you can do a project. Okay, so I have my second transfer on. And underneath my canvas, I do have a book, which is giving me a nice surface to work against. I could not work with the canvas, with that open back of the canvas. It would not be firm enough to do my chalking on. I am going several different directions. Canvas is fabric, and so I am making sure that I have covered my silkscreen transfers very well. If you are interested in these projects, my VIP group is a group where I am working to do more specials and trying to get my VIP group kind of up and running. Like I said, I've just started working online. But the VIP group, my kind of vision for the VIP group is a place where you can share your projects. I'll share the videos that I'm doing. I'll share any specials that I'm running on Chalk Couture. But your projects don't have to be Chalk Couture. They could be anything. You know, post the last thing that you've made. Ask people for input. I would like it to be a community where we can craft together, and eventually I would like to do some face-to-face you know, nights where we get together and we craft doing Chalk Couture, and you could set up a night with your friends to have just a fun night. If you're the hostess, you get all of your supplies for free, and if your friends order some product, you get some more free things. Right now, with our being locked down so much, we can't really do that. But that's kind of my vision for as we go and things loosen up a little bit. You're supposed to be working from home. All right. Thanks for joining us, Krista. I understand how working from home kind of is a challenge. I'm doing that too. All right, so there is kind of our finished product. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for joining. So if I had some glitter, I might even put some really fine glitter on this wet, on these wet parts of the stars. I think that would be fun, especially if this was for like a kid's room or something like that. So there's more things you can do with it. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. All right, I'm going to set this back here, and I'm going to clean my transfers. I like to show you guys from time to time how easy they are to clean and kind of the steps for cleaning them so that you know how to do that. So I have my water bath over here. Move that in front of me. Our transfers are very easy to clean, so it's just going to take water to clean it. I want to make sure that I have rubbed the silkscreen part so that it's nice and clean. When you've used your chalk and you put it right into the bath and then you start cleaning it immediately, it's really very easy to clean. It's a little bit harder when it's sat for a little while, but it still isn't difficult. This is my board eraser. So I'm just gonna, and I'm not pressing hard, it doesn't take much pressure. I'm just basically rubbing it across the surface. I'm just washing off that chalk I put on there as I was making my transfer. If you just jumped on, we are playing a game right now. We're trying to name the most constellations that we can think of. I will send Happy Mail to the person who gives me the names of the most constellations. And that will be, I will send you a small transfer, a squeegee, and some chalk paste so that you can check it out. So if you want to play along, name the constellations that you know. Okay, so now that I have washed most, I see a couple of spots where I need to wash. It is very, very simple, not difficult to clean. I love that it just uses water. So after I get my transfer all cleaned off, then I'm just going to lay it right down onto my towel, and it's just going to lay right there with the sticky side up. And right now it's not sticky. Our transfers are sticky, but when you put them in water, they are no longer sticky until they dry. Once they dry, the tack will return. So this is my other transfer that I was using before. I'm just going to make sure that I use my fingertips to just rinse out that silkscreen area. Just rubbing it all the area so that I make sure my silkscreen is clean. Some of the paints do stain the front side of the transfer. You can see that the white kind of leaves a little residue right now. But usually like the red does stain the transfer. But it doesn't hurt the transfer. If you have stains on your transfers, it's fine. You just don't want that chalk or ink to dry inside the silkscreen part of your transfer. It's kind of hard to show you. I'll do it under the water here and just kind of rub my board eraser. If you don't have a board eraser, you could use, one of those magic erasers, microfiber erasers. Okay, so now I have most of that clean. It looks like I missed some down here at the bottom. So I really like this transfer. Chalk Couture has so many different transfers to choose from. There are, like this one, there are Bible verses, there's country, there's, birthday stuff, there's inspirational things, there's funny things, just a lot of variety. Okay, so now I have my second transfer all clean. So I'm going to lay that over here, right on my towel, and let it dry. I always want to clean up my tools, clean them the same way, and clean them in your water. You can use Clorox wipes if you want. You can use Clorox wipes on your transfers as well. I would just caution you on the sticky side. I've had an experience where I'm pretty sure it was the Clorox wipes that caused my adhesive side to get a little aggressively adhesive. So it's really easiest just to use water. For me doing this, it makes it a little challenging because I'm not near a sink, but running water makes this a piece of cake. Even easier than you can tell it is on here. Alright, just want to make sure everything's clean and dry. These little color trays are really handy if you're going to mix colors. All of our chalks and inks are mixable, so if you don't have an orange, you can make an orange with yellow and red, which is handy. If you want variations of a color, you can easily do that as well. Alright, so make sure that my container of chalk paste is clean, ready for next time. This is where I like to use wipes. I like to make sure that my rim is nice and clean. Once a month I do clean my chalks to make sure that they're in good shape. Clean anything out of the lid. Sometimes I set my squeegee in there and it puts some residue in there, so it's nice every once in a while just get everything cleaned up. Alright, I have my lid. I wanted to show you what I'm going to do tomorrow, kind of a preview. I'm excited about this. This is definitely something you can do. Very simple. I found one of these rounds at Lowe's or Home Depot. I'm sure you could get the same. It's just a round piece. I'm going to make it into a tray, so I have some handles that I'm going to put on. Great use if you have, if you've changed out your kitchen handles, be a great place to use those. So I'm going to put some stain on this today, and then tomorrow we are going to use this really, really fun transfer. I have this big rooster, and I'm going to chalk him in white, I think in white, right on top of this circle, and make a tray that you could put in your kitchen. You could put it on your dining table, pretty much anywhere. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you guys tomorrow. So come back and watch tomorrow. We'll do something totally different. Alright guys, I am going to go through the comments and I will see who knew the most constellations, and that person's going to get some happy mail. Thanks for joining me this morning. I hope you have a great day. Just make it a great day. See you guys later. Bye.